What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of TK Sports Talk. I am your host, TK the Official, and the NFL playoffs are finally here, man. A long, grueling season, 18 weeks of the regular season of the NFL football are over. And after 18 weeks, 14 teams have separated themselves and have earned their chance to go into the NFL playoffs for their right to compete for a Lombardi trophy. A lot of games going up this weekend. We got 6 games on the docket. All right, 3 games, actually 2 games Saturday. We have 3 games on Sunday, and then we have 1 more game on Monday night. All right, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. Very, very exciting games this weekend. I think there are a lot of upsets alert. Let's just go ahead and dive right into it and get started with the Cleveland Browns going up against the Houston Texans. Houston Texans, okay, versus the Cleveland Browns. All right, listen. Did anybody expect for the Houston Texans to be where they are right now? I mean, listen, this team was a very bad team last year. One of the worst teams that I've seen in the last 10 years. The Houston Texans were playing like a Detroit Lion football team, okay? Not the Detroit Lions that you know this year or even the one last year, but I'm talking about the traditional losing, only winning 1 to 2 to maybe 3 games, maybe even 4 games a year, Detroit Lions, okay? That's how bad the Houston Texans program has been, especially since they had to get rid of Deshaun Watson, all right, and that trade to Cleveland. And here we are. They're playing each other, and how appropriate would it have been if Deshaun Watson was available to play in this game? But unfortunately, Deshaun is a little bit, or not a little bit, okay, he injured himself and he's not available for this game and won't be available for the remainder of the season, okay? So it's not necessarily a revenge game or get well game or welcome back game or anything like that, okay? But what you do have, all right, is you have a rookie head coach that is in his first season, all right, taking care of a football team. You also have a rookie quarterback in his first season in the NFL, and these two together have combined to gel together and form a true coaching quarterback combination that has allowed this team not only to make it into the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. This team won their division. Now, Jacksonville Jaguars, they had a collapse down the end of the stretch, okay? But nonetheless, this Texans team, okay, was able to put itself in position all year. They fought all year. They were one of the better teams all year. You can see the talent from this Texans team. You can see the talent jumping off of the arm of that quarterback in C.J. Stroud, all right? And if you're the Cleveland Browns, though, okay, Cleveland Browns have gone through it themselves. They're going through a couple different quarterbacks, and this was a team that had a great defense, had a pretty substantial offense, okay, had some good pieces on the other side, just did not have accurate quarterback play, just did not have a playmaking or a difference maker at the quarterback position, okay? Now, we're not going to go through all the different quarterbacks that they've had, all right? But somehow here we are, Joe Flacco, okay? Who would have thought Joe Flacco would have wound up being a quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, all right? And since Joe Flacco has come in, the Cleveland Browns look very good, all right? The Cleveland Browns have been one of the top teams in the league in offensive production since Joe Flacco has come in, and the Cleveland Browns have just continuously, steadily been rolling on the defensive side of the ball the way that they do, all right? Let's just take a look at some of the numbers coming into the game between these two teams, all right? Joe Flacco, since he started, he's throwing the ball for 1,600 yards, 15 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, okay? We got to watch out for Amari Cooper. Right? Amari Cooper has been on an absolute tear. The last 2 times that these two teams faced off against each other, Amari Cooper went off for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in that particular game, all right? But the Houston Texans did not have C.J. Stroud in that game, all right? And so, okay, C.J. Stroud doesn't play offense or doesn't play defense, all right? But we know how important it is to have a quarterback that can keep an offense on schedule, that can keep their team on the field, all right, and can keep the other offense off the field, all right? Especially when you have Joe Flacco and Amari Cooper going crazy. You would have loved to have been able to sustain some drives and keep that offense on the sideline, all right? I expect this game, this is the most exciting game for me personally of the entire playoffs here. It's between this game here and the game against the Rams and the Detroit Lions. Too many different storylines, too many excitements in that game, and those teams are very, very close. All right, so it's between this game and the next game where I think we're going to have a lot of points here. Okay, I think we have the potential. So that brings me to my next point. All right, this game is going to be about defense. No secret there, right? This game, the key to this game is going to be defense, and not in the way that you think. Not Cleveland Browns defense, this game is going to come down to how well can the Houston Texans defend the Cleveland Browns, okay? Because the last time they saw this team, we understand that the Cleveland Browns was having one of their better days that they've had. Joe Flacco was having one of his better days as a quarterback. Amari Cooper was having his best day as a wide receiver, okay? So the Cleveland Texans want to get back there, and I believe that DeMeco Ryans is, you can't show DeMeco Ryans the kind of defensive coordinator that he is, your offense twice, and they get to play you 2 times within the last 4 or 5 weeks, okay? I think the edge goes to DeMeco Ryans. All right, now the Browns, and we're talking about their defensive coordinator, talking about Jim Schwartz, they did not get the benefit of seeing CJ Stroud the first time. So while they may have tape and may be able to watch CJ Stroud, they did not get firsthand experience in playing him on a football field. And I think that that's going to play key to this particular game. CJ Stroud this year has been absolutely just outstanding. Over 4,000 yards throwing this year, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, okay? They're getting a lot of production from their running back, from Singletary, almost 1,000-yard carrier this year, okay? All right, and Nick Collins is doing this thing at the wide receiver position, has 1,297 yards this year and 8 TDs, all right? And it's unfortunate for the Houston Texans that they don't have Tank Dell, all right? Because this would have been a super explosive offense, but I think if you're going to ask me, I think I like the Houston Texans in this game. All right. Go ahead and give me the Houston Texans in this game. I like the Houston Texans 27-23 in this game. I just think that CJ Stroud is an amazing player. And I think that DeMeco Ryans will be able to figure out a way of keeping Joe Flacco from being effective. I mean, Joe Flacco has a big arm. All right. We know he likes to throw a deep ball and things like that. He likes to be on schedule. But he's a statue and back there at the quarterback position, and you got to heat him up. All right. We got to get some blitzes on, not a weed, but if you're the Houston Texans, I should say, you got to get some blitzes on Joe Flacco. All right. You got to make him uncomfortable. You got to challenge their wide receivers. All right. And if you can do that, all right, the Browns, they do have a pretty significant running game. OK, between the 2 running backs that they employ against the defensive front. But if you ask me, I really think that I like the offense from the Houston Texans. I think in a 60-minute game, in this particular game, I think that the Houston Texans will be able to make just a few more plays than the Cleveland Browns, and they will win this game 27-23.